Welcome, high school freshmen, to Monday, April 13th. What's better, Friday the 13th or Monday the 13th? Especially after spring break. Hopefully, spring break was good to you. Hopefully, you are watching this on Monday, April the 13th. Hopefully, spring break treated you well. Hey, for today's assignment, we wanted to ease you back into math. So the assignment we'll be doing today, this day 2 of combining like terms, is meant to be just a little easier than what you did before, a week and a half ago. Feel free to pause, skip ahead, or repeat as you need, but go ahead and acquire the worksheet now. It's the next link down in today's date, or if not the worksheet, at least acquire the problems. Write the problems on a piece of paper. You can pause the video now, or stop the video, go down and get that information, then come back, and we'll be working through some of the problems. Okay, go ahead and hit pause now. All right, here we go. We're going to work through problems on this day 2 worksheet. We're going to work through problems 1 and 3, 5 and 6, and 8, 10, and 12 and 11. Okay, so starting with number 1, this combining like terms, what you're working on is putting the numerical values together that you can put together. This p, there's no other p's in there, just a small amount of p. So with that one term of p, leave that alone for now. And you've got this 2, a positive 2, and a minus 2. So 2 minus 2 is 0. In our laziness, we won't even write it. And 4p is 20. And then divide off the 4 from the p, do the opposite operation. So p is 5. So as you can see, we're combining like terms. Today, the like terms that we're combining are constants. These constants, the number itself, the numbers you find on the number line. There's some variables as well to combine, but we're also adding that to the mix. So on number 3, there's a negative something there, plus 6 of them. Well, that negative, we're lazy, we don't like the 1, so it's negative 1k plus 6k's. Gives you that 5k's is 10, and then you can see that 5 times something is 10. If not, ask a calculator. Right here, let's see, this poster up here, teach others, ask someone to teach you, any way that you'll best find out that k is 2. On this one, there's 2 directions you can go on it. I'm going to show them both, but both items will work. You can first of all combine this 1 and minus 3, which gives you 1 minus 3 is minus 2 over negative 6 to negative 3. So the first step that I did was combine these constants. There's another way I can do it, and I'll show you in just a second, but I started by combining those constants. Then multiplying this negative 6, it's divided off, so multiplying it onto both sides of the equation gives us that 4x minus 2 is the same as 18, which turns it into just a 2-step equation. When you add 2 to both sides and then divide by 4, the x becomes 5. And you can check your work by putting 5 back in to the x and finding out if 20 minus 2 is 18. The other way you could do it if you want is you can multiply both sides by 6 to begin with, negative 6 to begin with. Have that be your first step. You're left with 1 plus 4x minus 3 is 18. You'll notice that this, when you combine those, gets you right down to this step anyway. So whichever of these ways you did it, whether you did that step first or this step first, it will still cause you to get the same answer. Number 6, good. There's no division on there. I'm not a big fan of division. But you can see that the n's, there's multiple terms that have n in it. And then this 2 is kind of on its own. So if you have 4 n's and then you add a certain number of n's, if you can remember how many are there and how many are there, well, there's 1 in each of those. So 4 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 6 n's plus 2 is negative 4. And again, the 2-step equations from months and years ago, subtracting 2 off of both sides of the equal sign. You're checking this equal sign. Emphasize that that's what we're working around. 6 n's is negative 6. And then the 6 that's multiplied on, you can divide it off. So that 1n, 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1n equals -1. Okay, number 8, same idea, but now it's the 5 and the 2 are combining to make it 7. 6 R's plus, there's no other R's. So it's just the 6R there. And then the 5 plus 2 is -17. Again, use a calculator if you like on any of these. But the more steps you write, the better chance you have of getting it right. So this 7 that's connected onto the R, we undo that first. Subtracting it off, so that's 0. And -17 minus 7 is -24. You can probably do the rest in your head. 6 times what is -24? Or just divide off the 6 from both sides because it's multiplied on, so you do the opposite operation. Which leaves us with 1R equals, if you type in -24 divided by 6, you'll get -4 as your variable. When we talk about putting it back in, you put the -4 back into 6R. So the R there, put -4 into the R. 6 times -4 is -24. -24 plus 5 plus 2 gives you -17. So you know you did it right. On 10, you can choose which way you like to do it. First, you can multiply both sides by the 11 first. Or you can add the 6 and the 4 first. Whichever of those steps first makes most sense to you. When you do that, you're going to end up with 22 equals 4V plus 10. I'm just writing the resultant step that exists by doing these two steps, either the 11 times 2 first, or the 6 plus 4 first, and then the next step. Either way, you'll end up with this. If you want to subtract 10 off in your head, you'll know that 12 is 4 V's. And if you want to divide off 4 in your head, then 3 equals V, or V is 3. Again, as I'm skipping some of these steps, it's just to show you that once you've got some of these items down, some of these multiplication table facts, some of these addition or subtraction facts, it can get a little concerning when you start not writing the step. 22 minus 10, sometimes you'll write 32, or I will. We'll see Larson mistakes regularly when trying to do too much in our heads. Just showing you that it's an option you can do. If you don't want to spend 45 minutes on this math assignment, you'd rather just spend maybe 10 or 15. Okay, number 12, combine the like terms and see what you get. Three x's all along. 5 plus 4 plus 4 is 13. And with that, we're just about done. Back to the two-step equation part, which probably don't need to spend this much time on, but 3x's, with that becoming 0, is -15. Divide both sides by 3. So you can get 1x all by itself, divide by 3. 1x is -5. Combined the like terms, subtracted the 13 off, and then divided by. And lastly, chose hopefully a fairly simple one for last. Just combine all those x's. How many x's are there? There's a certain number of x's is 22. How many do you get when you add those up? Either in your head or in the calculator. 11 x's are 22. 11 times what is 22? Taking us back to years ago when we learned this. You can divide off the 11, use a calculator, that's your 12 if you x is 2. So just a little bit of work. I think we did more than half of the problems there. So if you feel like you understand this, you can do the rest of the problems, check your answers. And good luck on the quiz today. Hopefully you get them all right. Have a wonderful Monday, the 13th.